Hi, my name is Sam Johnson, and I'm a voice teacher. Today I will be continuing my series on amateurs versus artists, where I take one of my friends and I have them sing a song, and I have another professional artist sing the same song, and then we're going to put them back to back and see how they both approach similar parts of songs so that you can learn, because that's my goal in life, is to make you specifically learn things. So at the end, I'll throw in a bunch of vocal exercises. Please feel free to sing through those, come back to them. Repetition is what builds good habits. If you like my videos, please consider subscribing below and ringing the bell so that you can get notified of them immediately rather than waiting for YouTube's faulty algorithm to send them to you. So here is Kay, the head moderator of my Discord server, and Sara Bareilles performing Gravity.
You loved me 'cause I'm fragile, and I thought that I was strong.
So when she says fragile, she doesn't do the L quite as much, which is an interesting way of pronouncing it, and it's really common. She just kind of goes to a W, but it sounds nice. She's showing her teeth quite a bit. I don't think that's totally necessary. My good friend Mark Reynolds will disagree with me. He thinks that's kind of a paramount thing that really good singers have in common. Play around with it, see how it affects the sound that you're doing. She's kind of smiling into that sound a lot. It's not really high, so it's not up in the area that vocal technique matters. It matters, but you have a lot more room to like mess around with things when you're singing in a lower part of your voice before it starts getting up into your bridge area. And Sarah's really well trained. I think she's got a great voice.
You loved me 'cause I'm fragile, but I thought that I was strong.
Cool. She doesn't smile as much into it. Good start though.
Set me free, leave me be. I don't wanna fall another moment into your gravity.
When she goes to the very high note, to the C, she's flipping, which is different from how she approaches it later in the song when it gets to that bringing me down. It's the same note. So this is the difference in how you can approach it. How much we are holding on to that feeling of full voice is adjustable. So you can hold on a lot, you can hold on a little. She's holding on a little because it's still able to come down really smoothly. It doesn't sound like it's a total flip, but you know, she is flipping relative to what she's doing with everything lower than that. When she does the fall, she goes into more of a round O rather than I don't want to fall another moment, which I think is really helpful. It's not how I generally say it in my speaking voice. So that's one thing that when I sing, I have to watch out for. I have to recognize that my ah vowel tends to want to go a little bit more ah and kind of counter that by going closer to that oh in order for it to sound more similar and in order for me to approach my high notes in a way that is going to feel really good.
Set me free, leave me be. I don't wanna fall another moment into your gravity.
Different approach, totally different approach. I think both are totally valid. So Kay goes with more of that full voice. She doesn't have as much breathiness in it. I think both work really, really well. It's just, what's your interpretation of the song? I feel like the Sara version, where we do that flip, it gives us more room to kind of grow as the song continues. But the last lesson I had with Kay, which is my only lesson that I've had with Kay, we worked a lot on holding on like that. And I think that she sounded fantastic when she went up to that high note. That fall, it wasn't quite as round as when Sara did it. Again, you have to just play around with what works for you, because one vowel shape that might work for one person might not feel as great for you. But the more that you learn how to listen to all of the variations that people use and the resulting tones that they create, the better you can be at choosing a vowel that will work well for whatever you're singing. Because in voice, there's no one size fits all.
Is your cat one-legged? Is your cat fat, skinny, or an in-between? That doesn't matter, because one size fits all. Kitten mittens, you'll be smitten.
Here I am, and I stand so tall, just the way I'm supposed supposed to be, but you're on to me, and all over me.
Her mouth is really relaxed. She's not moving it excessively. Even as she goes between that flippy place and the more connected voice, it's not like she's... Her mouth just looks closer to speech, which I think is really, really great. The more that we can minimize movement when we're singing generally leads to better results. When she did the just, it had this internal narrowing, so she didn't really make her lips go, but inside of her just. And I do think that vowel, that, not quite a schwa, but it's, what is it? This guy, that, I can't remember what it's called. It's the vowel in book, that place is really good for singing. And so a lot of times when I'm hearing people sing and their vowels are just going a little bit wonky, a little bit wide, substituting in that generally makes everything work quite a bit better.
Here I am, and I stand so tall, just the way I'm supposed to be. But you're on to me, and all over me.
Awesome. So Kay still sounds great. You can see very, very significant differences in how Kay is forming her vowels versus how Sara was forming her vowels. Both of them worked. Kay's is a lot more full sounding, and I think that to make it get a little bit louder without getting super tense, you need to kind of open up the vowel like that. I still think that on that just, we could have a little bit more of the while still dropping the jaw. So just versus just. But it's not a huge deal. It's an A. Like, it's not a really high note. The only thing is, when I'm listening at that A, I'm thinking, how will that vowel affect on the C sharp? Because if the A starts getting a little bit difficult, it usually makes those higher notes quite a bit more difficult. But like, Kay's really skilled. She's fine. She's getting away with it really well. You can also see on her E vowels, she's dropping her jaw. Wow, just choked on my own tongue. She's dropping her jaw quite a bit. It's that E instead of E. I think that's a beautiful vowel modification, and it's one that's necessary, especially when you're singing in full voice in this upper area.
But you're neither friend nor foe, though I can't seem to let you go.
Can't.
The one thing that I still know is that you're keeping me down.
I love Sara Bareilles. I think this is like one of the most perfect pop songs that exists. I will work on this with my students any day of the week just because I'm so happy to hear this song constantly. I think it's beautiful. I think that it goes just high enough that it works on that held on feeling that a lot of people struggle with, but it's not so high that people really start getting in their heads about it. So I think this is just a gorgeous song. Everything leading up to that down was in that more kind of internal place. And then when she got to down, it kind of rolled into not like a totally nasal sound, but I would bet that you'd feel that in your nose a little bit. Down. I heard a little bit more of that brightness. You see her smiling into it, which generally brings about that brightness. And smiling, it's a thing that I find a lot of like classical people will teach to brighten the sound up. I don't think that you need to use it to brighten the sound up. I think there are other ways to brighten it up without having to modify the vowel quite that much. But what she did, like, I just think it sounds great. And because she wasn't doing all of the lower notes in that same place, it suddenly becomes a choice. She just changed that vowel on that one note. It's a choice. It's not like a bug, it's a feature.
You are neither friend nor foe, though I can't seem to let you go. But one thing that I still know is that you're keeping me down.
Gorgeous. Yeah, she sounds awesome. The one thing, I love what she did with her vowel on one. The one thing, using that wa to kind of open everything up. And one is one of my favorite sounds to use in vocal exercises. So now let's play around with some vocal exercises to get used to that. So that's a C. I want to start a little bit higher than that, just so that people can find the feeling of release. But as you're doing this, try to hold on to that feeling of full voice still. So it's a 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, focusing on keeping the same pronunciation of that one every time. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. The tendency for a lot of people is to start modifying this vowel 1, 1, 1, 1. Don't fall into it. Pronounce it the same way. And I do think that starting up a little bit high over where the bridge is, over the bridge, is really good. It helps people release into their head voice. And as long as you still know what it feels like to kind of hold on, you can get away with it. And then I'll take them all the way down to where the lowest note is low enough for most high voices, but not too low. And then take them back up to see how they approach this. See if the directionality of the exercise changes how you are singing the exercise. Because a lot of times starting up top, people will pronounce it a little bit differently than if you're starting at the bottom and kind of coming back up toward it. Then I'll go a little slower. Sometimes it's easier to hold on a little bit more when it's slower. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So if that was working well for you, congrats. Go take that same sound and apply it over to the song. Try doing it, the melody on that 1, 1, 1, singing along with Sara, singing along with Kay, because both of them prime singers, singing along with a karaoke track, which I think that as soon as you feel really comfortable with a song, it's important to start either self-accompanying or practicing a cappella or singing with a karaoke track or having someone else accompany you, just so that you don't get locked into trying to sound like someone else. But try singing it on 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, because as soon as you take out the words and you just are focusing on that one, then you can focus on pronouncing it the same way, regardless of where you are in your range. I know it goes high enough that there's going to be a little bit of a modification. So if at the bottom you're pronouncing it more like you would in speech, 1, 1, 1, where it's not really opening as much, as you start going higher, it might need to go closer to a 1, 1, 1, but it's got the same narrowness. The only thing that really changes about the vowel is that the chin starts dropping toward your chest, which creates a little bit more space between your teeth, and your tongue drops with it. So instead of 1, or your tongue kind of stays back, 1, 1, 1. It's a good way to pronounce that. If you're having a hard time holding on to that feeling as you go higher, a gentle way of holding on to a little bit more chord closure, a little bit more chest configuration, whatever you want to call it, just more full voice. I really like squeaky sounds. So try with this one. It's a little bit more of a complicated coordination or pattern, but we'll take it slow. So it's a e e e e e e e e e e e e, and we're starting low enough that you'll probably feel it in your chest. Make sure that you're starting all of these with that same squeaky e e e sound. It's like you're being a monkey, e e e e e, or but we don't want to let it go toward he, because that starts encouraging more of a light chest voice coordination. So e e e e e e e e e e e e e e e e e e e. And as you get comfortable with the pattern and you're not having to think about what the next note is, then you can start thinking about other little things in the vowel, like, are you tightening anything in your jaw? Are you tightening your tongue? You can kind of wiggle things around. Oh, wow. Sorry about that. I'm bad at B flat. And sometimes slowing this one down too makes it easier to hold on to that chestier configuration. E, 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 because giving that space in between each of the notes gives you a little bit more chance to be mindful about that beginning onset. And I do want a glottal onset with this. I don't think that glottals are bad. I think that glottals can be a really good way. Wow, it's hard to do this sometimes. I think glottals can be a really good way to just bring your chords gently together. With all of my online lessons, I don't really play and talk at the same time, or play the whole thing. So this is a little bit of a brain workout right now. And that's high enough that the high note is going to be that same high note in gravity. So if you were able to hold on to that feeling, let it move into your head gently, but still have a little bit of that squeaky sound, that'll start building that coordination to be able to hold on with more of a full voice like both Kay and Sara were able to do. So those are just a few little exercises to start playing around with. Come back to them regularly with that squeaky sound. If it starts getting constricted, like you're going E, 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 that's not what we're trying to do. You can make a glottal sound without it being really constricted, without over pressurizing. So ask for it to be low volume, just enough volume to make that squeak happen, and start observing, does this feel like full voice? Does this feel like my perception of what full voice should be at the top of my range, or is it a little bit different? Record yourself, listen back to it as you're doing that. And once you get used to these patterns, feel free to do them a cappella on your own. Feel free to go learn them on a piano and play along with them so that you can learn piano, because I think that's really important. Or just go back and forth with my video, like rewind, go back and sing through that section over and over again, because once you know what that stuff feels like, you just need to get a lot of repetitions before your body starts trusting it, and you don't need to think about all those things anymore. Yes, that's how you use vocal exercises to learn how to sing. A lot of people, I think, look at vocal exercises and they're like, well, I'm just warming up. I think that vocal exercises are there to remind us what good singing is supposed to feel like, not just to physically get blood rushing through and to get like a warm up in the way that a lot of people think of warming up for sport or something. I think it's a little bit different. It's more form work. It's just to get your body working in a way that's really efficient, that you can then know what it feels like and hold on to that feeling as you go work on actual songs. But getting the voice like physically warmed up in the way that I think a lot of people talk about it, it only takes like 5 minutes. It doesn't take very long. If you're spending an hour just trying to warm up and stuff, you're probably overdoing things. I think that frequency is a lot more important than duration. If you have that time to practice singing, try doing like 3 or 4 practice sessions over the day, like 10-15 minute practice sessions. It'll be a lot easier for you to stay focused and make sure that you're doing all of those sounds well every time, rather than getting distracted and maybe your vowel changes or maybe you overpressurize or something. Because it's really about good focused practice so that your body can get used to and start trusting new coordinations. I had Kay do a ton of meow, meow, meows in order to get used to that chestier feeling, and I think it is working phenomenally. Like, her voice up top is connected really, really well. So they do work. I promise these things work if you give them the chance. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment below. Let me know things about your questions. Go check out the Discord. Talk to me, talk to Kay. We're all hanging out there pretty much every day. And yeah, thank you for watching and liking and subscribing and ringing the bells and Patreoning and all of those other things. Just thank you for being you. Really, thank you.